So what if I was really starting to get into music production and I wanted to build my own home studio or project studio, but I only had $2,500? Like, how would I, someone who's been doing this for about 20 years, how would I spend that money? This is gonna be fun. All right, let's do this twice, though. The reason why I want to do it twice is because my recommendations are actually going to vary depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So, like someone who is recording a band, like, you know, guitars, bass, DI, acoustic guitar, piano, vocalist, like they're going to value the analog signal path a lot more than someone who is building up their tracks using MIDI controllers. And, you know, occasionally they will record like a vocal or a bass DI or a shaker or something like that. But their, you know, priority lists are different, right? So let's start with building up the home studio, the project studio for someone who is valuing that analog signal flow more, the singer-songwriters, the bands, those guys. That is more my expertise anyways. But let's start with an interface because that is the centerpiece of your studio, kind of regardless, right? So you're going to watch me scroll right past the universal audio, past the focusrite, past the SSL. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? He moved past the volt. That's right. We're going right here. This is the Antelope Audio Zen Quadro Synergy Core interface. I love the Antelope Audio stuff. I use the Discrete 4 as my interface here at my home studio. And there's a few reasons why I chose it. Number one, Antelope Audio is known for their conversion, their AD to DA conversion. It is top-notch. It is mastering grade. Antelope Audio, I think, makes the best converters in the business at this price point. And as it says here, taking the AD-DA chips from Antelope Audio's flagship Galaxy range, which is a way more expensive interface. And then on top of that, it's also got the console-grade discrete preamps, which is the other reason why I bought my Discrete 4. Which, when I bought my Discrete 4, it was when it first came out, and it was around $1,500. And it's crazy that you get the same preamps, and I think even a little bit better converters than what I've got in my Discrete 4 for half of what I paid for my Discrete 4. That's great. Plus, as you see here, it's also got a bundle with the Edge Note, which is their small diaphragm condenser. It's their modeling microphone there. So add to cart. I think that's a no-brainer. And now that we've got our interface, let's talk about the main, like your large diaphragm condenser microphone. And this is technically not even a large diaphragm condenser, but I'm still going to recommend it. This is the Shure KSM32. It is technically a medium diaphragm condenser. Did you just hear my finger pop when I did that? That's crazy. But Shure KSM32 condenser microphone. I have sung the praises of this microphone so many times on my channel. It is a really versatile microphone. You can point it at just about anything and it sounds good. I've said that I can't even tell you how many times on this channel. It sounds really good on acoustic guitar. It sounds really good on piano. It's one of my favorite drum overhead mics. And it sounds incredible on a vocal too. Like, it sounds great. I even shared in the EQ review video a vocal that was recorded with the KSM32, so you could hear it for yourself. And it sounds big. It sounds up front, right? And that's one of the reasons why I like it. It's such a versatile, great sounding microphone that, to me, again, if it's in the budget, I will recommend it. So we're going to start with this version with the shock mount, but if you need to shave off a couple of dollars, go with just the regular version, and then you can always get like any sort of like third-party shock mount from like Amazon or something, those cheap ones. They work. They're not fantastic, but they'll do the job. But we're going to start with this one for now. So $719, adding it to cart. And continuing the discussion of microphones, I'm also going to recommend a couple of small diaphragm condensers. Like, yes, we did get the one for free with the Antelope Audio like bundle, which is cool. It's going to be nice to have that extra flavor to choose from. But I'm actually going to make a different recommendation here. So these guys right here, the Rode NT5s. I am a fan. I have used them extensively, and I believe that for the price, they are one of the best options out there. Yes, their top end can get a little bit out of hand, but it is very rare when that becomes a problem. The only time where I've used the NT5s and thought, oof, like that's just not going to work, would be I was recording a drum kit that had, I think it was like the BX8 cymbals, the Sabian, whatever the like intro cymbal pack cymbals are. And those cymbals had a harshness that was just brought out so much by the NT5s that I ended up using a large diaphragm condenser for the overheads instead, and that helped to kind of smooth that out a little. But in almost every other circumstance, so acoustic guitars, piano, room mics, like these can work fantastic for you. So in the cart. And of course, you're going to need some way to hear yourself, right? So headphones, let's start there. Now, as you can see, headphones can get pricey. Wow, those focals are insane. $1,500 for a pair of headphones. I've never used a set of headphones that costed more than, I think, maybe $400 or $500. That's not true. I did use some Beyerdynamics that I know are like $600 or $700, but nonetheless, oh my gosh, these are crazy pricey. I would be curious to hear them, and they better cure all of your illnesses, because for that price, I mean, come on, that's crazy. Anyways, we're not going to go that direction, but that was a fun little side quest. These are the headphones that I consistently recommend because, to me, these are kind of a standard. You will find these in a lot of studios. The AKG K240 headphones. And as it says here, the studio standard for vocal tracking and critical listening. It's true. A lot of studios will use these or Sony's as like their main tracking headphones. And I always like to see these because I know what they sound like. I've gotten used to them. And for someone who is tracking yourself and then also using them as a reference for mixing, they're great. So right to the cart. And of course, you're also going to need some way to hear it through a set of speakers, not just headphones, right? So let's take a look here. So of course, these are an option. The HS8s, HS7s, HS5s, sure. Those can work for you. If you want to break the budget, I welcome you to do that. The Kali Ion 8 V2s are going to be a great option for you as well. But if you want to stay within this budget, I am going to recommend these guys right here, the Atom Audio T7Vs for a pair, $579.98. Going to add those to the cart. Like, here's the deal with Atom Audio. I like the Atom Audio monitors. I think that the ribbon tweeters do give you a lot of accuracy in the high end. They give you a lot of detail. And the translation, especially on the top end, is really good. Yes, they have a port in the back, and I don't know where this sentiment came from, but within the past few years, like 2 years, it seems like everybody all of the sudden became the biggest anti-port on monitors thing. I don't know where that comes from. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. Like, yes, if you have a completely closed acoustic suspension is what they call that sometimes, monitor, yeah, it's going to give you a little bit of a tighter low-end response and a little bit of a better time domain response, and you can mix transients better, especially low-end transients. However, it's not going to extend down as low, and for a lot of people, the trade-off of, yeah, it's not going to be as tight on the low end, but I'm going to be able to hear much further into my sub-frequency range because I don't use a sub, that to me is worth it. That is a trade-off that I will take. Also, use your headphones as a reference for the low end. That's another classic trick. So I've got the Atom Audio T7Vs in the cart here. I think they're great. Now, obviously, you can see we broke the bank, and I still need to get a MIDI controller. So let's make some adjustments. Okay. I'm gonna give you another option. So let's delete the KSM32. Listen, if you're comfortable with breaking the bank, I might still recommend the KSM32, but let's go over here. So Dockman Audio. Dockman Audio, we've got the DA87 SE, which another microphone that I own. I love this microphone. You have seen me use this microphone extensively. These things sound really good. like killer microphones. And if you want to get snazzy, they've got it in gold. I personally think that's maybe a little cheesy, maybe a little fun. I love the ugly yellowy cream color that mine is, but I like how kind of the specific brand of ugly that it is actually very attractive to me. So yeah, let's look at that. And then of course, you've also got the $100 off right now, which, yeah, so save 100, the coupon. That takes the price of this microphone to $399. And so right now, since we deleted the KSM32, let's do some math. Yeah, so we are at $2,255.98. So we've got a little under $250 to find a MIDI controller. So let's go search. Let's see what we can find. MIDI controller. My God, I can't type. There we go. Here's the thing about MIDI controllers. They are like a big mouse. That's all they are. So yes, sometimes it is cool to see MIDI controllers that have, you know, all the drum pads and triggers and knobs and faders like this guy here, the Key Lab. And like, that's super cool because yeah, you can like automate the faders and stuff like that. But like, to be totally honest with you, it's a mouse. None of the sound comes from the MIDI controller. The control comes from the MIDI controller. So everything about it is about the user experience and playability. That's it. So for me, the only thing I care about is velocity keys, which I think all of them have at this point. And if they give me a bonus of like a couple of faders that I can use for automation, score. But that's all I need. So yeah, it would be cool to get some of these. Like, that one looks really cool too with like the wood panel on the sides. Like, that's pretty awesome. But that is it. And then I'm going to want to get 61 keys or more. Because if I am in a band or singer-songwriter or anything like that, I'm just really looking for the playability. And that's it. So let's go to M Audio. I think it's the Oxygen, which people turn their nose up at these for some reason, but they shouldn't. Look how affordable this is. Here you go. 61 key MIDI controller, brand new for $219. And you still get some of the drum triggers. You still get a lot of the faders and buttons, and you still get transport controls too. That is so useful. Like, that is, to me, kind of a no-brainer. So add to cart, and let's see where we're at. All right, so we are at $2,075.98, and then we add on $400 from the Dockman. And here you go. That is a studio. Listen, I'm excited for anyone who has this studio. You will be able to create some really amazing stuff. This is the studio that will give you no excuses. You will be able to record full records with this that will rival the quality of records that are produced in major studios. And I am not kidding with that. So yes, of course, you want to invest in room treatment. Yes, of course. But I mean, like, do your best with that. If the gear is what you are considering and this is your budget, this would be my strongest recommendation. You guys want to see something kind of cool before we jump into the next studio? This is the Dockman Audio, the DA67, which is their take on a U67, which U67 is one of my all-time favorite microphones. I am going to be reviewing that on the channel, so you got to make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. But not only just gear reviews and stuff, but I'm actually going to be also running a session up in Philadelphia at a studio called Cart Studios with my friend Matt, who was on this channel not too long ago. And on top of that, the band has been cool enough to let us film everything behind the scenes. So you, the viewer, are actually going to get this fly on the wall experience. So not only are you going to hear like, oh, cool microphone sounds cool, but like, you're actually going to get insight into working professional audio engineers in the decision process behind what we do. So subscribe so you don't miss any of that. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so round two, let's build up a project studio for our producers, our beat makers, our guys that are inside the box a little bit more. But of course, even if you're inside the box, you still need an interface. Now, my interface recommendation is going to be a little bit different here. I am going to recommend this guy right here. This is the Universal Audio Apollo Solo. So yeah, the Antelope audio stuff, I think, does give you a better sound as far as like the preamps and the converters go. So if all you care about is just the raw audio, go that direction for sure. But like if you do want to integrate into the UAD ecosystem, this is probably the way that you want to go. So this is the Heritage Edition. It includes the 5 extra UAD plugin collections, as it says right here. So if you do want to take advantage of those preamp emulations or the compressor plugins, like the 1176 I'm a big fan of, the LA2A I'm a big fan of as well, or even some of their instruments that they're coming out with. I recently tried their Rhodes, which actually sounded really pretty good. So for that, I think it's worthwhile. The preamps that come in these are the Unison preamps, and it does say mic/line, as you can see up here. But one thing to keep in mind is that you cannot bypass the preamps that are built in. Like, even though it says mic/line, the line input is just a pad on the existing preamp, so there is no way to bypass those internal preamps. Again, if that is something that is a deal breaker for you, then go the Antelope Audio route. The Antelope Audio will give you, again, more options and kind of future-proof you for a little bit longer if the only thing you care about is just the raw audio quality. So one thing to keep in mind, but let's add this one to the cart. And you're going to notice I'm going to spend a little bit more on a few different categories, one of which is the monitors. So this should come as no surprise. The Kali Audio IN8 V2. I think these are the king of translation at the price point. If you don't know, translation just basically means if you're in your studio and you've got a really nice balance and everything sounds exactly how you want it and you're like, man, this sounds awesome. And then you bounce out that song and you go listen to it in your car and you're like, was I shrooming? Why is the low end just completely out of control? That is called translation. Mixed translation means it sounds just as good in here in my studio as it does in the car, as it does on my AirPods, whatever they call those. AirBuds was the golden retriever. Anyways, as it does anywhere else. So the Kali Audio IN8s, I used these as my main monitors for about a year, and I was really, really impressed with them. They are fantastic for translation, and I genuinely believe that you are not going to get a better monitor until you are spending $1,600, $1,700 or more. So add to cart. All right, quick check-in on the price. $1,700. Oof, okay. And of course, since we're talking about listening to ourselves, same exact headphones, same exact recommendation for the same exact reason. Great for tracking, really good as a second reference point for your mix. I like these headphones a lot. They have a sound. You have to get used to the sound that they have. But once you get used to it, there is a strong chance that you will prefer it for a long time, maybe forever. So great headphones, strong recommend, in the cart. And of course, we are going to need a MIDI controller. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Now, with the MIDI controller, like I mentioned, it's a mouse. It's a glorified mouse. We are going to go a little bit more compact. Ideally, if I had more money in this budget, I would like to go 61 key or more, but my minimum for a MIDI controller is going to be 49 key. I think that's going to get you, at least a good launching point here. So I've got a couple recommendations. These are great. I love the Novation launch key. And they also have this. If you're someone who uses FL Studio, you can save a little bit of money on your MIDI controller and also get like full integration with FL Studio. So if you are an FL Studio guy, this may be really great for you. So as it says here, with controls for FL's sequencer, channel rack, and mixer, and creative and scale chord modes, like that may be a selling point for you. But for the rest of us, I am a Cubase and Pro Tools user myself. I'm going to recommend this guy, Novation Launch Key 49. I think it gives you a really good player experience. It does also give you the controls for transport. You've got all the faders and sliders. You've got all the drum pads. You've got the modulation wheel. Like, these are great. Plus, it also has aftertouch, polyphonic aftertouch, which is also really nice to have. So that's a nice little bonus. So add to cart. Okay, let's check in. Let's see how we're doing. Oh boy, 2075. So we still need to get a microphone. Like we have no microphone yet. Like let that sink in. But we are gaining a lot in our monitoring. So it's that trade-off, right? So for microphones, let's go this direction. Roswell Pro Audio. Now, I am currently talking to you from the microphone that I am going to recommend. This is the Roswell Mini K87. I like this microphone. I've gotten a lot of compliments on this microphone. I did a full shootout of this microphone 2 videos ago, the Ultimate U87 shootout, where I compared this against the $3,750 Neumann U87, and this microphone came in a close second place compared to that microphone. So if that tells you anything about it, they're great. Also, you know, if you care about professionals using microphones, here, look at all these professionals that I'm scrolling past here. All these guys are proud endorsers of the Roswell microphones. So I think that definitely says something about the microphone. So we've got a couple options here. If we go Mini K87 and you just use this microphone as it is, as it stands in this base package, it's $459. Now, the only difference between the microphone that you see on the screen and the microphone that I am using is that this microphone comes from their custom shop, which the only thing that is different with those microphones is how they look. It's the same exact guts. It's all the same capsule, the same circuitry. Everything is the exact same. The only difference is the body of the microphone and the grill, the head basket that it comes in. So if you do not care about what your microphone looks like, I don't even think these things look terrible, but they do look a little bit similar to the like cheap, like Neewer microphones, right? So these microphones, $459. Not a bad price point. If you do want to get more of the custom shop look, like here, I'll show you how to do it. I've gotten a lot of questions on this. So you go into products and you go down here to custom shop mic builder. And then where it says in yellow, start here, custom shop mic builder. Click on that. Choose the microphone you want. They've got all these different microphones. I'm a big fan of the K87. I'm also a big fan of the Mini K47X. That's a great sounding microphone. But Mini K87. And then you get to choose the color and the grill. And like you can see the microphone that I've got here, like it's a great look. The color is the metallic blue, which is the semi-gloss. I think it looks great. You can also choose deep purple if you want, or dusk or Lambo green. Holy mother of green. That is a very green. What is You're So Vain? Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's interesting, you know? Matte green, black, gray, blue. This is my exact microphone for those that are curious. The semi-gloss metallic blue, and then you go down here to grill, and then tall black chrome. I didn't say that weird at all. That was you, not me. That is my exact microphone. That microphone is the one that you are seeing me use right now. So if you do care about the looks of your microphone and you like this look, $505. It's going to break the budget a little bit, but here, let's see where we're at. Yeah, we're over budget by almost $100. Okay. I didn't want to do this, but we're going to have to. All right, we're going to delete that. And we're going to go to the IN5s. Kali IN5s. Listen, if you're comfortable with breaking the budget by $100, break the budget by $100 because the Kali IN8s are so good. The low end response, it just extends a little bit lower from what I remember hearing. I did hear the IN5s in person a couple of times. They still sound fantastic. They still reach down way lower into the low end than you might think. And again, these are my own rules. Like, you don't have to abide by a $2,500 budget. Like that's just the rules for this video. And so for that, if we are sticking to just that budget, there you go. we are now within budget. IN5s, they still sound great. They still give you the same great translation. They just don't reach as far into the low end. And your total is, because I can't do math, I got to use a calculator, $2,481. We're going to round up there. You still got $19 left to go. Go buy, I don't know, some Chinese food or maybe a coffee or something. There you go. That's a pretty solid studio. Man, look at that. You got, again, no excuses. The UA Apollo Solo, you got really good headphones, you got really good studio monitors, you got the launch key, and you got the Mini K87, and you got the pretty one too. So if you ever do something in front of a camera, you don't have to worry about anybody thinking that you're using an inexpensive Neewer microphone or something. These are incredible. Man, you talk about like creating like the sound of a hit record. You could do that with this setup, hands down. I have one rule with my content, which is no one be a dick in the comments. But the rule number 2 is, if you are considering purchasing any of this equipment, then please consider using the links that I have in my description below. It costs nothing to you, but it does give me a tiny little kickback. But that does go a long way to help me to continue to make these videos. So if you want to support the channel, that's maybe one of the best ways. Or if you just want to support the channel by liking this video, if you liked the video, you know what it is. All the buttons that are down here below. Press those buttons. Subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. If my opinions have offended you in any way, I would love to hear how I have hurt you in the comments below. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next one.